the books I read for 2025. Yes, no, maybe you should read these. Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back. My name is Viry for those of you who are new here. It is a new year. Well, for you all. For me, it's still December, but it will be a new year once this video goes up, which means we get to talk about all the books I read for 2025. It is a lot of books. Last time I checked, it was 97 books. Like I said, it's still December. I still have 3 other books that I have in my TBR that I have a feeling I might finish. They're just not going to be a part of this video because I can't say whether or not I recommend them yet since I have not finished them. Obviously, these are the books that I have in physical format. I still have a bunch that I will be going through with my iPad that I read through Kindle and or library. We're gonna do some parameters for this video because if I go over every single book, we're going to be here for hours and we don't want that. This is going to be, as you all saw on the thumbnail or the title, a yes, no, maybe you should read these. My only rule here is I'm only allowed to say 1 to 2 sentences at most if I need to elaborate as to my explanation for why. So I'm actually going to get out of this little tower that I did because it already fell once. Y'all didn't see, the camera was not rolling. This works. I'm already getting hot. I think I'm gonna go change my shirt. I'll be right back. It's actually kind of cold, but I am getting hot because of the light. If you're all over the place, let's just get started with this video. We're gonna start off with this stack right here. The way I've organized my stacks is by genre, so we're going to try to stick to like genre and overall vibes, I guess. We'll go over the first genre, then talk about my library books. I'm overwhelmed, can you tell? I also didn't get coffee today. So this first genre I'm going to be talking about is classics / banned books. So first book, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I love it. Oh, look at us going fast. Second book, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Yes, very important piece of literature, especially during our political times right now. The next book is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This is a yes. Okay, take 3, let's go. I even changed the lighting because I feel like this will be better to work with. And while the gardeners were doing their job, I made myself a coffee because I'm falling apart. I think we left off on Brave New World and I said yes because it's a banned book and you should be reading banned books right now and it's a little bit dark and it's very relevant to our political climate. That was more than 1 sentence. Next book I have on here, Dr. Zhivago by Boris Pasternak. Yes, maybe. Actually, maybe. Maybe if you're into classic literature and are trying to read Russian literature, then yes. But if you're not really into classic literature, you might struggle reading this because it is a little bit hard to follow the names sometimes. Maybe. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Yes. Absolutely yes. Read this now. Very relevant to today's time. Banned book. Yes. Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. Yes. Honestly, all of my banned books are going to be a yes. Yes, especially since this touches a lot on environmental issues. And obviously there's a lot of like political topics on here as well that are very relevant to today's time. We literally live in a banned book right now. Yeah. And then for my Kindle, this one doesn't really fall under classics or banned books, but I didn't know where else to put it because I only read one of this for this genre, and that's a memoir or autobiography, and that's The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. This was read through Libby, and that's going to be a yes, but check content warning because it does have triggering topics. Just be respectful. Know that it's someone's life that you're reading about. So the next little stack that I have here is sci-fi. The first one on here is Rehab by Kenna Kay. Yes, especially if you want to support a indie author. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Maybe? I personally really liked this book. This is a yes for me, but I feel like this is more of a maybe. There's a lot of triggering topics on here that were really hard for me to read in general. It also took me a while to get through this book. I would recommend it, so it's a maybe. And then the last sci-fi book we have on here is Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, post-apocalyptical, comical, but with very serious topics now and then. Very excited to see what the rest of the series is going to be about. So yes, that's the end of sci-fi. Literary fiction! So yeah, this is more literary fiction, women's literature, some historical fiction here and there. First book on here, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Absolutely yes, I love this. Yes, 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 consumed my soul. Oh my god, I will never shut up about this book. Yes. See that vinyl over there? This is the reason for that vinyl. Yeah, even though it's not based on that band, I'm breaking my own rules. This one is not really literary fiction. This is young adult, and I didn't know where else to put it, so I just put it on here. An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. No. No, I'm sorry. No. Next one, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This is going to be a yes. Yes. The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna? Maybe, because it has very triggering topics and it's not for everyone. I can acknowledge that this is not for everyone. Here One Moment by Leanne Moriarty? Yes. The Wedding People by Alison Espak? Yes. This one just gave me reassurance about not knowing what I'm doing with my life, and it's okay to feel that way regardless of what age you're in. Yeah, I really liked how I connected with this book. Moving on to my Kindle stack. I don't have my physical copy. My friend still has it, and I think she's currently reading it right now. But that's Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yes, absolutely yes. Oh my god, yes. Please read that book. Please, please, please read that book. This one doesn't really fall under literary fiction. I think it falls more towards romance, but it's like historical fiction. So I just grouped it on here. But it's The Lady and the Highwayman by Sarah M. Eden. Yes, that one took me by surprise and it was just really cute and cozy and I liked it. A clean romance for those of you who look for clean romances. Yes. And then I also have The 5-Star Weekend by Ellen Hildebrand. Yes. Next stack we have on here is thrillers. The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Maybe. I enjoyed it and I liked the characters, but I had a really hard time reading it and it could have been because of a reading slump. Give it a shot, see if you like it. Oh, I have not talked about this one on camera yet. This is going to be part of my December reading wrap. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. One of y'all recommended this one to me. Absolutely yes. Oh my god. The trip that I went on. Yes. This falls on sci-fi as well, now that I think about it. I will talk more about this in my December reading wrap, I promise. Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu. I realized this is a classic. Maybe. I think it was a good read. I can see the vampire inspiration, but I just didn't like the underlying tones of like the dangers of female companion. I know you kind of go in expecting that. I would recommend just so you could see like the beginnings of like the vampire genre, but it's definitely a maybe. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This is going to be a yes. This was such a fun thriller. I loved it. The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Maybe no. There was just definitely one thing that I did not vibe towards most of the book. That's why I'm going to say maybe. I can't confidently recommend this to people. We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. A yes, but if you're into darker thrillers, because Karen Slaughter writes very gruesome, darker scenes that are very triggering. Yes, but check content warning. The Good Daughter by Karen Slaughter. Same thing as I said for We Are All Guilty Here. Yes, but check content warning. The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I can't remember what this book is about. I mean, I vaguely remember it. Oh, wait, I do remember it and I did enjoy it, but this is going to be a maybe. It was fine. It was okay. Might not be for everyone. And so then on my Kindle for thrillers, I have The Crash by Frida McFadden. No, absolutely not. Don't waste your time with that book. Pretty Guilty Women by Gina Lamana. Maybe. It was a good book. I enjoyed it for my book club and it was just predictable. Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Maybe if you're into those kind of books. I feel like Silvia Moreno Garcia has a very specific type of writing. So if you're more into like that horror gothic, then yes. And for me, it was a yes, but I know for other people, it might not be a yes. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. Yes. Oh boy, that one. Oof. That one made me feel like I was going crazy and I loved the ending. It was so satisfying. Incidents Around the House by Josh Mallerman. Maybe. I purely did audiobook for this one. And I feel like if I actually sat down to read it, I probably would say no. And the first half was good, but the rest I was just like, meh. I think we should talk about romance first. Hold on. Gotta rearrange myself. So I just want to preface the romance genre with you have to be into these kind of books. So this is going to be a mixture of rom-com, contemporary romance, magical realism here and there. So definitely some touch of magic, but not fantasy. There is also going to be more gritty romance. So not dark romance, a little bit leaning more towards morally gray and questionable stuff, but not fully dark romance because we have a stack completely dedicated to that. I will mention which ones are young adult, but most of these are adult romances and most of these will have spice. A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sarah Simone. Maybe. It was okay. Not my favorite, but it was a fun read and I think the concept was interesting. I just was not super into it. You Between the Lines by Katie Naiman. This is also maybe. I really liked it and I feel like I related a lot to the main character, but because of the main character, a lot of people don't like it. So this is definitely going to be a maybe for a lot of you. Good Spirits by B.K. Borson. Yes, especially during Christmas season, I really enjoyed this story. This one, I wasn't sure where to put it because this is originally supposed to be horror, but it doesn't feel like a horror book. It has horror elements and it fits in historical fiction, but it also fits in romance because I feel like it's primarily a horror romance. So I just left it in romance. This one's in Spanish, but obviously the original copy is in English. It's called Vampires of el Norte by Isabel Cañas. Yes. King of Pride by Anna Huang. Maybe. I wasn't obsessed with this one. Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Meh. Maybe. You will notice that a lot of these romance books don't make that much of an impression on me, which is why I'm trying to avoid buying too many romance books now. Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Yeah, I like this one. I like Elsie Silver. Sorry, I read this one at the beginning of the year, so it took me a while to remember which one it was. The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. This is a young adult romance. This is a yes. First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. Yes, especially if you like Sleepless in Seattle. I know it's inspired by Sleepless in Seattle. So cute, so cute. Camera's gonna die. We'll be right back. Promise Me Always by A.L. Jackson. I'm going to say maybe because I want to start the series from book 1. I enjoyed it, but I was not attached to the characters, and I feel like a lot of the tension and romance probably built in the previous books, even though these are all supposed to be standalones. And this is again one of those grittier romances, so it's going to be a maybe. These next 3 books are all from a series, and that's the Boys of Tommen series, Binding 13, Keeping 13, and Saving 6. And all of these are going to be yes. It took me really long to read these, but if you're like me and you want to read these books, but you've heard about how cringy they are and that these are high school kids and that's kind of throwing you off, just do it. Read it on Kindle if you have Kindle Unlimited and you don't want to commit on buying the books, because that's what I did, and I ended up buying the books because I really like these books. They're really good. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my god. I think I need another yes pile. Things We Never Got Over. Yes, and that's all I'm going to say because I talk about this book endlessly. I don't know if I can keep putting them up there. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. It's a maybe because I liked part of the story. The other half I couldn't care less. Maybe. Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I'm probably biased, but I love this book, so this is going to be a yes for me. Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler. Yes, just know that this is not a classic romance book. This is more about heartbreak, but it's very interesting and it's definitely worth the read. And then Kindle books that are same vibes as these kind of romance books. The System series, which is Good Game and Forbidden Game. There's one more book I haven't read it. I just read the first 2 by Madison Fox. I'm going to say sure. So yes. I don't really care to own a physical copy. They were good palette cleansers. If you're into like Anna Huang, Elsie Silver, then Madison Fox writing will be kind of similar to that as well. Here for the Cake by Jennifer Milliken. I'm gonna say maybe. I'm gonna say maybe for that one because it's really hard for me to remember what it's about if I'm being honest. Next book, The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. Maybe. Feel like this book is very, very overhyped. It was just pretty average romance book. So that's definitely going to be in the maybe pile. The next set of books is going to be dark romance. So this is going to be definitely morally gray or black characters, darker triggering topics for sure. This is going to have a mixture of dark rom-coms and just pure dark romance. So definitely content warning for all of these. spicy, all of them. And yeah, Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, yes, especially if you're trying to get into dark romance. Dark rom-com is a really good place to start to get used to the things that happen in dark romance books. Death by Laura Thalassa. This is part of the Four Horsemen series. This is the final book in the Four Horsemen series. Maybe. They're very repetitive, so if you're reading the series as a whole, similar to like the Anna Huang books and the Elsie Silver books, just like kind of paste them in between because they start kind of blending in together. Lights Out by Navessa Allen. This is gonna be a yes. This is my second time reading it, knowing that it's a rom-com. Enjoyed it so much more. I feel like I've said this so many times. We were just talking about Butcher and Blackbird, the Ruinous Love Trilogy. So this is the second book, Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. Similar to Butcher and Blackbird, this is a yes. This is actually so far my favorite from the series, but I still have to read the last one. Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. This is such an infamous book that it has to be a yes if you're into dark romance. I think because everyone talks about it, it's only fair to make your own proper opinions about it. I would recommend it just for that reason. If you're into dark romances, again, this is very specific for dark romances. This is not a dark rom-com. This is definitely on the darker side. We're gonna move on to the ones I read on my Kindle. Pen Pal by J.T. Gessinger. This one is a dark romance slash thriller, and I'm going to say maybe because I was so freaking confused the whole time, and it wasn't until the end that I actually liked the book, but it's a maybe. Honestly, if you go in not knowing anything about it, it's probably better. I have very conflicting feelings about that book. Once You're Mine by Morgan Bridges. This one's a maybe no. I feel like I couldn't get behind the male main character, the love interest. I was just not a huge fan. Aaron's Obsession by Jolie Vine. That's going to be a maybe, like just a maybe. I feel like it was a fun palate cleanser. I think it was just a letdown because it really led with having this game of like a group of women being chased by a bunch of men, and like if they catch you, they claim you. But it was such a small part of the story that it was very disappointing. Leave Me Behind by K.M. Moranova. It's gonna be a no because it pissed me off so much. I liked the story up until the end. The end pissed me off so much. It was so unnecessary. I was just mad. I was so mad. I just have trust issues now. Desperate Run by CJ Riggs and ML Burns. That's gonna be a yes. That one was fun. It was super dark, but the main character is so funny. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Check content warning for that one. I liked it. He Sees You When You're Sleeping by Alta Hensley. No, that's a no for me. That was a no for me. That one creeped me out. That one was just, no, it was not cute. It was not romance. I'm gonna do one last round of romance books on Kindle, and this is all going to be a mixture of sci-fi fantasy, which will then lead to like my fantasy stacks. But yeah, this one is purely like smut spice, okay? All of these are spicy. All of these are smutty. Quite a few of them are just purposely for spice only. So the Cowboy Colony Mail Order Bride series. So book 1, 2, and 3 is what I've read so far. I will put them somewhere here by Ursa Dax. Yes, if you like Ice Planet Barbarians, then you might like these books, and these are a lot more tamed than Ice Planet Barbarians. Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straub. Maybe. I personally didn't like it, but I did not know I was going in reading smut. That one's straight up smut. Like literally every other chapter is a spice scene. So just know that you are reading a smutty book. I did not know that. So that's probably why my impression of it was not the best. The next one is also a series called Court of Ravens Duology by Liv Sanders. So Shadows So Cruel and Feathers So Vicious. That one is a maybe if you're into dark romances because it's very dark. I feel like a lot of things that they do are just for like effect. It feels like unnecessary trauma sometimes, but I do think the plot was interesting. I enjoyed parts of it. I did not enjoy other parts of it, and even to this point I'm still very conflicted about whether or not I like the books, but I do know that other people might like these books. Made It to the Monster by Sarah Spade. Maybe, but personally for me it didn't do much. It was a fun palette cleanser, so it's going to be a maybe. Let me rearrange my fantasy stuff and then we can move forward. I organized it by young adult and regular fantasy. Since we were talking about spicy books, we're gonna do just regular fantasy. Assume that all of these have spice unless I say otherwise. First one on here is Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. This is a maybe. I think I need to reread this book. It was a little bit hard to concentrate. I feel like it had all of the elements for me to like. It was like a urban mafia fantasy almost, but I was in a reading slump and I didn't enjoy it as much. So this is going to be a maybe. The Empress by Kristen Cast. This is going to be a no. I bought this because of the book cover, but personally I would not recommend it because I just didn't enjoy it. So that's gonna be a no. Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. I'm going to say maybe, because if you like Phantasma, you're probably gonna like Enchantra. I like them, but I'm not super interested in continuing the series, so that's why it's a maybe. I think other people might like it more. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This is a yes. The world building in here, I really enjoyed it. The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Yes, 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 yes. Read this. This is so cozy. I love this one. Yes. And then this one is a clean romance. I got 2 books in the series. This is Iron Flame and Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, and I feel like you could put Fourth Wing on here as well. Oh, I feel so conflicted with this one. Because I loved Fourth Wing, and even rereading it, I still enjoyed it so much, but I did not like Iron Flame and I did not like Onyx Storm. When I finished reading this book, I was just so disinterested in continuing the series, but now that it's been some time, I kind of want to see what happens next. I am invested in the characters. That's the problem. Fourth Wing made me invested in the world and in the characters, but the following books did not do it for me. So I'm gonna put them in the maybe pile, but it's a maybe no. I think if you haven't read it, you definitely should read it to give it a chance so you can form your own opinions about it. Next book, Alchemist by Senlin Yu. Yes, 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 but it's a dark fantasy, so it has very dark content. So content warning, yes, but it's not for everyone. Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I actually kind of want to read the series. I started it off and it was so cheesy and not that great, if I'm being honest. But now that it's been some time, I kind of want to continue reading the series. This one's going to be a maybe. Please don't fall. Let's look at my Kindle list. Anathema by Carrie Lake. Yes. I feel like the ending of this book was kind of weird, but it got me very intrigued. So that's gonna be a yes. Next one, City of Thorns by C.N. Crawford. Nope. Sorry, that's a no for me. I was not a fan. A Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I'm going to say yes. I think if you like Carmilla, or if you want to read something like Carmilla, A Diary of Blood. The Game's God's Play by Abigail Owen. I'm gonna say yes. Actually, I'm gonna say a maybe. It's a maybe. It's not a yes. Now that I've taken some time apart from that book, I don't want a physical copy, but I think it's an interesting book. I feel like urban fantasy and like Greek mythology, that is a really good combination. And now we're moving on to our last and final stack, which is young adult fantasy. Fearless by Lauren Roberts. I feel like if I'm talking about Fearless, I'm talking about the overall Powerless trilogy. Fearless was not a huge fan, actually. I think the series is a maybe if you're into young adult fantasy with like the emphasis being romance. Fearless was just not my favorite, but the overall series is going to be a maybe, mostly so you can form your own opinions about it, because again, this has some controversy around it, right? I'm gonna skip to the next series that involves this controversy from here, and I'm also gonna be touching on the Kindle version as well, is the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard, and then Steel Scars, which is a novella that is in between like Red Queen and Glass Sword, something like that. Point is, the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard, including the novellas, this is also going to be a maybe. Personally, for me, I did enjoy Lauren Roberts' books more. I do feel like Victoria Aveyard's books are more thought out though. So I did like that. I have a love-hate relationship with this series. I enjoyed parts of it and I did not enjoy other parts of it. It's gonna be in the maybe pile. Next book on here, The Rose Bargain by Sarah Payton Smith. Yes, this is cute. If you like Bridgerton and if you like The Crow Prince, this is a combination of both. How the King of Elfame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. Anything Holly Black I will read, so this is going to be an automatic yes for me. The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely yes. Another series. This is the Shepherd King duology, so One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. This is a yes for me. If you want an atmospheric book and has a very unique magical system, yes. I loved Two Twisted Crowns. One Dark Window was very interesting and it got me into the world, but Two Twisted Crowns was my favorite. So this is gonna be a yes for me. And then our last physical book is Vampire Academy by Rachel Mead. This is gonna be a maybe. And that breaks my heart because this was one of my favorite books when I was in high school. But as an adult, I can't recommend this to other adults. But it was very nostalgic. So this is gonna be a maybe. Don't expect this to be groundbreaking because it really isn't. This is just all pure nostalgia for me. And then our final book for the year. It's not the last one I read, but it's the last one that we're gonna talk about. Is Shield of Sparrows by Devoney Perry. That's gonna be a no. That's gonna be a no for me. I'm sorry to end it with a no, but that's gonna be a no. But yeah, here we are, 96 books later. These are all my physical copies. Yay, we're done. We're done going through all of my books of the year. I just want to say thank you all for watching my videos. It really means a lot to me that you choose to watch my videos. YouTube really is my place to just go and talk about books, so then I don't annoy other people. Because that's quite literally my whole personality. But yeah, I think since this is the first video of the year, I do want to set a few goals. I think since we're really close to 100 books, it's not going to be like I have to reach 100 by the end of the year, but I would like to see if I could reach 100. I'm usually not that strict on my like reading goal count. Anywhere between 80 to 100 books is my goal. As for other reading goals, I feel like I did a really good job about reading classics and banned books. So I definitely want to bring those back because I kind of stopped mid-year. So I definitely want to go back to reading a little bit more banned books. I want to try to read a non-fiction book that's not a memoir. So that's going to be one of my goals. I'm going to see if there's a good non-fiction book out there. Let me know. Anything where I can learn things. Usually it's what will keep me entertained. I think one of my biggest reading goals for this year is more about my reviews. I want to be more analytical about it and point out what I liked, what I didn't like. So I might start formatting my reading wraps a little bit different just so I can give more substance outside of this is all just vibes, because even though vibes are fun and sometimes that's how I get book recommendations, a lot of the times when I don't like a book, it's because of the writing style or the pacing of the book. I feel like more thought out reviews definitely help other readers who might be interested in the book. So that's gonna be one of my bigger goals of the year, is to try to give more substance when it comes to my reviews. Here we are. Like I said, I'm happy with the results. I enjoy reading a lot, as you can tell. I also just want to give a final note of, you see all of these books. This is because I do read fast. This is because some of them I did a mixture of audiobook and the physical book. This is also because this is my form of entertainment. Don't compare yourself to any other person out there when it comes to your own reading journey. Your reading journey is unique to who you are. That's all I wanted to say about that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below, what are your reading goals for 2026? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already and you would like to, please subscribe. I usually make book content and now and then I make some lifestyle vlogs. But thank you all so much for watching. Have a beautiful day and Happy New Year. Bye!